I'll give you $1 million. People in your, many ways. You don't have so many decisions. You can just, the cooperation from other people, if it would cause challenges in their life. And the biggest thing it's about awareness. Many ways, and you may or may not have noticed that to have that mentality, like I talked about. Well, yeah, you don't even know what you're talking about. Ugh. One of you right. It's just a matter of time. A deeper level under. No. Work this way. Ba 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 ba. Until I started realizing that I was wrong. This is the way that blah, 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 blah. And this in life that you'll get this result. Right? It's called the black and white mentality. That's certainly. So you might look at that and think that's just hilarious, right? I must have had a bad few weeks, and I compiled all of the bloopers from all my bad performances trying to deliver my message to you, right? Well, what if I were to tell you that wasn't a couple weeks? What if I were to tell you that wasn't even a couple days? What if I were to tell you that was from this morning? From this morning, and there's more, but I think you got the point. And I don't care how much you dig in, how focused you are, how much you're connected to your goal, and how much black and white structure that you create, and you set them up and knock them down in your disciplined fashion. There are going to be times in your journey that it's just going to be flat out challenging. You're going to be losing the game. You might get on a roll of losing, so much so it's just going to tax you so much. If you could get back up there and ever get back to where you really think you can do it, it might be a challenge for you just to survive and maintain if you can just get back to maintain. And that's where all this mental toughness conditioning, that's you spending this time with me, learning these certain distinctions, bringing out things from a different level of awareness, perspective, objectivity of the challenges that you go through in life every single day. It's just that you may not focus on them. And that is the beauty. That is the best thing that you can get by your investment of your time and energy and your money to work on this mental game. And when you listen to what I have to share with you, this perspective, this insight, this objectivity that I can help you apply to your own life by listening and really taking in what I have to say during our time here together, it can really just give you perspective on your journey. Sometimes we feel that we're all alone and that there's something wrong with us, and there's not. But how do we know? How do we know what goes on behind the scenes on someone you respect, someone who may seem as though they're polished? Is that really the case? And at the same time, we can't just assume, oh, they're not what they say, like a lot of people do to make themselves feel better. We just don't know. And by going through this process, you investing, again, your time, your energy, your hopes, your dreams, your emotion that things are going to work out the way that you want. In addition to your money, you will make your journey a lot easier. So you need to continue this and learn through osmosis, learn from the experiences of others, learn from someone who is willing to share more than just the glossy, the victory, the motivational speeches that are in a generic form that can be shared with everybody. You need to listen to a resource, whether it's me or anyone else, who is willing to share how it really works in real time. Because I'll tell you, if you were to ask me about my bodybuilding career and how tough it is to enter and win a contest, and all the angst of all that time and energy that you invest, all in the hopes and dreams for really winning a trophy to a contest as an amateur that you don't get paid. It's just a small piece to a big vision that you have for yourself. How does that emotional battle work, win or lose? When you win, is it what it appears? If you lose, is it as bad as it seems? And more importantly than any of that is, how does it apply to your life and your journey? That's all I'm here for. This isn't about me. And when I coach people like you striving to take their lives to the next level, and I use my stories, it's not about me. And you should realize that. My stories aren't about me. What my plan is, my coaching method, little peek behind this screen of my strategies, is many times we don't have that objectivity. We don't have that perspective in our own lives, in our own situation. Sometimes we may overplay it like there's something wrong with us. We just can't get it. Maybe we're doing the wrong thing. Sometimes it is us. It is us, but we don't have that objectivity or perspective, and we're too easy on ourselves. It's good for you to be exposed to someone who's willing to share it, and it's not in past tense, because if I were to share my bodybuilding ups and downs and all arounds, being 13 years detached, you wouldn't get a real good insight into what it really takes to succeed. And many of your motivational speakers and success coaches and experts out there on the internet, they're talking sometimes, and they're removed. They're removed. They have already done it. Once you've already accomplished something, I don't care how challenging it is, your perspective changes. You're battle armored. You're stronger. You're bigger, and you don't look at the world the same. And when someone's going through that challenge, they're not the bigger person yet. So it's a different language that you communicate. If you don't take in all this advice, that you're already here, you might as well go 100%. There's no way you can't take your life to the next level in some way, shape, or form, even if it were to kind of marinate for a while and come out 3 years later. Right? So you want to take the time and really absorb what I have to say with you and all the time that we spend together, and see how it applies to your life. So when I tell my stories, I want you to say, how does this apply to my life? And don't get drawn in to my story, because it's not about my story. Again, we lack that perspective, and so my coaching style is, if I were to say, okay, you need to step up, or hey, you got to be easy on yourself, you're so wrapped up emotionally into your situation, you only see it one way, two ways at the most. And so if I can take what I believe, and I use my judgment to come up with some situation that I feel is very similar, and I connect my heart and my emotion, do my best to bring it back to that time. And even better, I don't talk about how it used to be. I take something totally unrelated. It's totally unrelated, right? So you could be talking about, business or your relationship challenges, and I might talk about, something that I observed. It could be about my kids. I look for a challenge that is unrelated, but the bottom line is the same, and it has to be close enough so you can relate to it, and you can not be guarded. You've come up with reasons why you're in the situation to protect yourself, to figure it out. You've done a lot of thinking about it. There's walls and blocks up. And I have to find a way to communicate the message to you that's distant enough where you can look at it and not have your guards up. So the story is never about me, whether I am talking to you one-on-one in a coaching session or I'm talking about, my bloopers and how that works. What I want you to understand is that everything is hard before it becomes easy. And I talk about this all the time, and you already have experiences in your life where something you said, why can't I get this? It takes you 17 times, think of something on a computer, right? And there are many times where maybe you quit. You didn't get over the hard part before it became easy. And then there were times where you just stepped up. You were so connected, I will do this. And it wasn't about the actual system or whatever you were doing, the strategies. It was about you were so connected to the vision of what you really wanted, and that made you try one more time, one more time, one more time. And that's why they say that, and this, is that sometimes the most successful people are not the most brilliant. I wonder if I were to tell you that those bloopers, that's a common occurrence. and I cut it out. You can see my frustration. I turn around, stop, turn around, stop, turn around, stop. Here's the interesting thing about that. I've shot, I don't even know, hundreds of hours of video all over YouTube. All of these presentations, some that some people never see. How many times have I got in front of the camera just in this format that you're watching me right now? And that's the way I perform. Did it ever really get easy? Does it stay hard, right? How do I make it through? And what's my suggestion for you when you have those times where you know it's hard, you know it's hard, you know it's hard, and you want to get past that point where it becomes easy? And it's really, again, that sweet spot vision. The sweeter the spot of that goal that you have, that overriding goal that is so ambitious, it's so juicy and exciting just when you think about it. You can think about it first thing in the morning, when you're tired, or late at night. It doesn't matter. It gives you a jolt. And it makes you think, what am I doing right now? How can I step up? That sweet spot goal is everything. And the sweeter you hit that spot, the better. Can't be just a little bit too ambitious where your brain clicks off and says, I can't really do that. And it can't be, good, but not really demanding the most out of you, because you'll just go through every single day being good. That sweet spot goal is what gets you through those hard times. And I wanted to share with you a little look behind my curtain, so to speak, at the risk of not looking so amazing. He seems like he just flows. I've had many people talk to me, you're just so good at speaking. I'm going to tell you that there are a lot of times like that. And the challenging part of it is, I feel in this particular time, when I'm filming this, that I'm on a roll. So much so, I have my genius zone time, I have my plan, I've cleared off my schedule. I'm just focused on being the best. This isn't something I'm dabbling in. And so much so, I want to lengthen out my genius zone time. So, talk about a surprise. If this is a surprise to you, it was a surprise to me. I did everything to step up, to be my best. And I ran into a day like this is today. This is now a good 5 hours after those bloopers. And there were many more. I just want to tell you that there were many more, because I had gone past my point of being able to be effective. My genius zone time, even though the time was right, I was too tired. I got too little sleep. And something that isn't like me, I just quit. I just quit for this time to fight another battle. And can you imagine how disappointing that is when you think you got it all figured out? How does that relate to your life? And went back to sleep. And I just regrouped, and here I am. And here's another thing about, two things I want to just say as I wrap this up. One is that, you know what? Everything is hard before it becomes easy, but don't expect it to become easy. Do not expect it to become easy. You're always going to be challenged. The journey is never over because you want to go to higher and higher levels. And no matter what happens to you, play every ace. You can use your bloopers in life, so to speak, and share a message and get closer to your vision of changing the world by living that example that you too can do it. So tell me, how does this story that I shared with you, my example, again, it's not about me, it's about you. What did you take from this? Can you think of examples in your life or your current situation where you had situations like me and you pounded it out, and even if the result wasn't what you wanted, you weren't able to just come back, you had to stop, you had to start again, and maybe you never even achieved your goal ever, but you learned so much about yourself in the process. You were able to salvage something out of it that turned out to be good, where it did not defeat you. Then think about those situations where you're looking back now and you're saying, wow, if I had the insight that I have now, and maybe this is creating a shift in your mind, if I would have realized some things that, just this perspective, this insight, this story, what it brings to you, if you just had it 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, when you had something that was important to you and you ran into those challenging times, you would have a different mindset, that it probably would have had a different outcome. You would have made something different with a different mindset. And then the other thing I want you to think about is what's most important to you right now as you work towards that sweet spot. What are you challenged with right now that maybe you're putting off because it just seems like it's so challenging, or maybe you're in the middle of it. You've had a bad few days working on it, and so you put it aside and you're talking yourself out of that. Maybe that isn't the right thing to do. And by this time that we spend together, you're looking at it a whole different way. So it may not come to that outcome of you pushing away, not doing it, and then wondering if you just didn't get past the hard part. Or even if you didn't get past the hard part, you found something that you were able to salvage out of it. You were able to play every ace. You were able to use that hand to end up to some later victory. I want to know how this has impacted you, your way of thinking. Send me an email at skip@fitnesscenteredlifecoach.com. I want to know. Tell me how this is hitting you. Tell me. All you have to do is when I give you this assignment to take action, it's important to take immediate action on everything that you learn. And so all I want you to do is just send me that email and say, yes, I get it. 10, it hit me. 2, it hit me. I'm going to think about it some more. Just take action. That is a signal to yourself that you're taking all this information, you're using all the time that you've invested to take your life to the next level, and it's in there because somehow, way, shape, or form, if not now, a week from now, a year from now, you're determined it's going to serve you in some way, shape, or form.